Today on Low Carb with Jennifer, I'm going to show you how to make this keto chicken meatball zoodle soup. Hey guys, let's get started with this soup. It is so delicious. We've got 1 pound of ground chicken. Actually, it's ground turkey. Grocery store didn't have ground chicken, so you can use ground turkey if that's all that your grocery store has. And we're going to use this to make our meatballs for our soup. For the meatballs, we're going to add 1/3 cup of almond flour, 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese or shredded, 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of dried parsley, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Just going to put it all in there. And that's it for the meatballs. And now it's time for the dirty work. We're going to mush it all up and combine it, and then we'll portion it out into meatballs. Okay, I've got a 2 tablespoon scoop, so I'm just going to portion out the mix. Just going to go ahead and do that and drop them onto this sheet tray. And that makes 12 meatballs. To make it easier to roll these, I'm going to put a little bit of oil on my hand, rub it in, and that just makes it where the mixture doesn't stick to your hands. So I'm just going to roll all of these into balls. Now, instead of browning these in the skillet or in the pot that we're going to cook the soup in, I'm going to actually broil these under a high broil in the oven. It's just going to be so much quicker, so much easier, and less mess. Okay, while our meatballs are cooking under the broiler, I'm going to go ahead and start making the soup. I've got a heavy pot here, and I'm going to add some avocado oil. We're going to add in 1/2 cup of diced onion, 1/2 cup of shredded carrots, or you could use diced carrots, 2 celery stalks that have been diced, and 3 cloves of minced garlic. So we're going to let this cook until the vegetables are soft. It'll take about 5 or 8 minutes. Okay, I just checked on the meatballs and they're looking so good. That is definitely the way to make meatballs. I turned them to the other side so they can brown evenly. Our vegetables are looking good, so now I'm going to finish up this part of the recipe. I'm going to go ahead and add in 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme and a bay leaf, and 4 cups of chicken broth. This recipe makes 4 servings. And we're going to wait for the meatballs to be finished before we go any further with this recipe. Well, actually, we can go ahead and make our zoodles. So let's do that. I'm going to set our soup aside, and I've got my zoodle maker here. This is the Inspiralized Zoodler. It's the best one you can find. And I think I need to turn it this way, like this. But first, let's prep our zucchini. I'm just going to cut both ends off of the zucchini. You want to make sure that they're like level. Make sure it's a level cut, a straight cut. So now we can prepare our zoodler. You want to push down and lock it so it's not moving around. Let me make sure I did that right. It might not work too good on this cutting board, so we'll do what you can. You just want to make sure and push down. So now we can put our zucchini on here. Working with limited space here. Center it, and then we can make our noodles. Got it backwards. Let's turn it. It's not that complicated. I'm just making it complicated. Push down and lock it. Now we're ready to go. You twist And this one's not locked. Okay. There we go. And that's how you make zoodles. This zucchini was kind of wonky. And technically I'm supposed to be holding this handle over here. But when you put it on a cutting board, it just doesn't get good suction. But you do what you gotta do. Okay, there's half our zoodles. What happened is we did get some nice long ones, so you want to cut those. You don't want them to be really long in your soup, because then it's going to be hard to eat. I'm going to roughly chop up these zucchini so there's not big pieces. And we can go ahead and put them in the soup because our meatballs are done. This is the last thing you want to do. And we're going to go ahead and add in our zoodles because our meatballs are finished. Here are our perfect meatballs. This is such a good trick if just make a big batch of meatballs to have in the freezer and cook them on a sheet tray under the broiler. Makes perfect meatballs, and you're not sitting at a skillet for an hour cooking meatballs. Now I'm going to drop these in our soup. The soup makes 4 very generous servings. And last but not least, we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. Give this a good stir. Those noodles take no time to get cooked in the soup. Oops. And just to be sure, I'm going to use a meat thermometer to make sure our meatballs are cooked all the way through. Yes, they are. Perfect. So this is ready to go. Let's taste for seasoning. Need salt and pepper. Now, how good does that look? Look at those meatballs. They are perfect. Be sure you check out this recipe and look at this other recipe that YouTube suggests that you will like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.